chord wide elements. Oh, 180, I don't know why. 60. There we go. And we need these to have an aspect ratio of 3. So aspect ratio is just the span divided by the chord. So we'll come into each and every single one of these sections and we'll adjust them to have an aspect ratio of roughly 3. And when I'm doing this part, I like to view our mesh in the hidden um, format so I can see the top of the mesh and not through the mesh. Um, yeah, and you have all different kinds of options here. You have wire, shade, texture. You can kind of see what these do here. Um, I don't really use texture. I just use hidden, wire, and shade sometimes. But yeah, I don't really use too much of this. When you select them, all you gotta do is drag and click all these. You can honestly use this, pick. I don't know what that does, if I'm being honest. But yeah, okay, back to the wing. On the wing, basically what you want to do is just make sure that you have an aspect ratio of roughly 3. So this looks like, 1, 2, 3, I mean, maybe a little bit more. NumU, that looks pretty good. Then we're on to the next section, same thing, just aspect ratio of roughly 3. That looks pretty good. It's probably a little bit too much. It's probably more like it. And lastly out here, we just want to make sure it has the same size mesh at the wingtip. That's pretty good. And one thing that is easy to forget is the tessellation on the on the wingtip up here. And we don't want it to be too fine. So how we can adjust it is we go to plan trip tip treatment and we change the cap test. So we can see that adjust that. Cool. It's probably still too fine. Just do about half that. Yeah, that's fine. Um, cool. And so that same process will follow for the horizontal tail and vertical tail. Um, yeah, that's probably should be changed, but you guys get the idea. So for the fuselage, you want the orientation of your rectangle to be the opposite, the other uh, orientation. So instead of them running span-wise, you want them running chord-wise. So how I do this, I'll come in here and I'll make this probably, let's start off with 100. And then I'll go into each section and I'll just increase the lengthwise tessellation until we get an aspect ratio of roughly 3. So we still need to keep going. A little too much now. And so that's roughly an aspect ratio of roughly 3, I would say. Same thing for the next one. NumU. Sometimes at conjunctions, sometimes you can't get it perfect. Because you see how these tessellations are a lot more spread out than these because of the curvature. But kind of just got to do the best you can. So these are kind of more like squares rather than rectangles, but which you don't really want. Um, but so like what we could do to solve this would be to add more of these, maybe like 120. That might make these a little bit more rectangular. Let's see, go back into here now. Let's do this one. Let me make this like 150. There we go, a little more rectangular there now. And the whole idea here is that you want to make sure that the mesh sizes at each cross section are roughly the same. So if we came to this cross section, we notice that these are a little bit longer than this section, so we need to either make this one longer or this one shorter. So let's go back into here. Let's increase that till they're roughly the same. Looks a little better. Good. And so one other parameter we can adjust is clustering. So we notice that we can change where the tessellation is concentrated. So it looks pretty good there. Don't love how these are pretty long here, so I might add some more here. But now we notice that these are too short. So the forward cluster is just obviously the forward part of your section, and the aft cluster is the aft section of your section. So let's go back to here and let's separate this. Actually, I'm in the wrong section. There we go. Good. Just make them roughly the same. Nice. Alright, this looks decent. Pretty good. Probably need a little bit more clustering at this one. Let's get this to be roughly the same size. That looks good. Alright, looks good. And ideally, this isn't like this, so let's probably smooth this up. The Z location. And this will cause problems in flight stream. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is come to fuselage. We're going to go all the way to the back, and we're going to change the right and left skinning so that we kind of cover that. It's a little bit better. It looks like we got to change our length a little bit. Dang. Let's see. So we still got that going on, so let's move it up. There we go. Maybe a little bit less. Get it back. Yeah, pretty good. Again, this isn't perfect, but I'm just trying to get a general case for you guys. Vertical tail, same thing. Make sure every single cross section that's producing some kind of force, I mean, which is all of it, but the axial geometries which have flow going along their chord, you want to make sure they're having, you got 100, 60, and also for the horizontal tail as well. Cool. So now let's make this an aspect ratio of 3 again. Pretty good. And now same for the vertical tail. Excuse me, the horizontal tail. NumU. Alright, looks good. Same thing here. Cool, now let's check the tip. It's probably a little bit too fine. It's in plan. Reduce this down a little bit. That's fine. Reduce this a little bit. Cool. That's good. Okay, let's do the nacelles now. Alright, that looks good. Cross section. Increase that. Roughly aspect ratio of 3. Alright, looks fine. Honestly, a little bit too much, too little. Alright, it's good. Cool, we gotta fix this up now. Let's go into design. It's gonna be a tail cap. We'll make it flat back there. Alright, maybe we increase how much we got going on back there. Cool. Alright, so I'd say this looks pretty decent. We do have to fix that. The flight stream isn't gonna like that. So if we were to no show everything, use from the left. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this guy. So fuselage. Let's see. We'll make it a little bit taller height. Nice. And now we'll just move it down. Probably did that a little bit too much. It's probably good enough. Now we can move it down. Alright, not bad. Same thing with this guy. I know I'm not following the image, but this is for the purposes of flight stream. Ideally, spend more time and make it more exact, but not too worried about that right now, just for the purposes of showing flight stream. Right, this is a really wonky looking fuselage. But that was just to get it all nicely fit into there. And honestly, let's just move up the wing into the fuselage just for the purposes of flight stream. Okay, yeah, we'll call that good for now. Cool. I say this is a good start. Make sure all that looks good. And we're kind of skipping the gear for now. I didn't really do a good job of saving a lot through that. I have had VSP crash on me before. So just you want to make sure you're just saving a lot, because you just don't want it to crash and lose all your progress. So DA42, accept. So yeah, I'd say this is a good start for flight stream. So yeah, we basically covered everything from how to use VSP, specifically for flight stream, and how to mesh, general properties for guidelines for meshing. This isn't perfect here, but I think you guys get the general idea, hopefully. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video.